3 lights, 4 lights, 5 laps. Pause. Go, go, go. It's Senna sprints away, but Alain Prost takes the lead. It's happened.
I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, God. They love him and he loves them. He's trying to go through on the inside and it's happened immediately. My goodness, what excitement. Well, you can't be much closer than that. Yeah, look at that. Wow,
We're going to have a committee meeting about it. Stick it on and send him out.
Hello and welcome to League of Pigs in what is certainly the strangest of finals. More on that in just a moment. For now, let us have a look at the points as the Pigs head into the first Woodland finals ever. Ginger and Piggy Smalls have been fighting for the top spot since the season kicked off, with Ginger managing to get the upper hand as the Pigs enter this key stage. Piggy Smalls, however, is a whisker away from Ginger, and Hoshi has managed to claw himself back to within 8 points of the leader, setting the stage for one of the most epic and tense finals in league history. In terms of the championship, Bear and Pepper will have to be tourists for this one, but will they throw up some surprises of their own over the next 8 races? We'll of course find that out in this video. For now, we have a quite sad announcement to make. During the making of this video, one of the most pivotal and key members of the league was tragically killed. His name was Henry, and he was extremely influential in all areas of life over here, and that certainly extended into this show. At first, Henry was not a fan of the pig racing idea, citing all of the concerns one would upon hearing about such a crazy project. But he was a very happy and eccentric man and soon got on board with the programme. His reluctant acceptance soon turned into elated enthusiasm upon the arrival of the pigs. He fell in love with them instantly and became their biggest advocate, and spent much of his free time making their lives better as well as improving the show. In terms of the show, all of the woodwork you see across all seasons continuing well into the future was done by him. This includes the fences, the starting box, mini mountain, the water obstacle, chicanes, among many other things. He also fenced the racing paddock as well as Piggy Heaven. He then made an adjoining bridge from Piggy Heaven to a much larger area that the pigs could roam, overlooking a beautiful spot. And of course, he gave them lots of attention as well. This made all of the pigs' lives idyllic. To say that Henry was important to this show would be like saying that the pigs were important to the racers. The show would not exist without him. And it is disheartening to know that no matter how good the show is or will be, it still will never be as good as it could have been without him. And most of all, and rather selfishly for us, we miss his company dearly. Those of you that have been watching this season know that the clover paddock is there to keep the pigs together and make them easier to manage between races. But of course, the pigs have their own ideas, and their latest idea is that they'd like to explore and eat, not just eat. Piggy Smalls is the first to test their new idea as he climbs on top of the fence. That couldn't have gone any worse if you'd tried, Piggy Smalls. Smalls flops over the fence rather than jumps it. Pepper is the next pig to go, and she's a little bit more cautious, which is completely understandable given that she's watched the absolute shambolic attempt of Piggy Smalls. She takes a few deep breaths to ready herself for the jump, and that was pretty good, Pepper, I've got to say, given that you are the smallest. Hoshi, on the other hand, cleans the fence as if he's been doing it for years. And of course, once the pigs know they can jump the fence, it's like the fence isn't even there. Thanks, pigs. The opening race commences, and notably Piggy S'mores is not behind his handicap, but Hoshi is the man to beat here. Ginger is staying with him, but Piggy S'mores is looking more dangerous the longer this race goes on, and I think he's going to beat Hoshi into this corner. Yes, he does. He's going to claim these 10 points, and in one fell swoop, Piggy S'mores steals a victory off Hoshi. He steals a course record off Bear Trotsky, and arguably, most importantly, he steals any kind of points lead that Ginger had at the beginning of this round, thus making the finals even more tense, if that were possible. The staff of the league should have taken more care with that handicap, but that's not Piggy S'mores' responsibility, and it's a fact that the Americans have taken full advantage of in the first race. A quick start, and the handicap fence isn't even in the box, but Piggy S'mores attacks that hill in a way that I've never seen another pig do it, and he's setting a pace that's unrelatable right now. 8:08 is a silly, silly performance. I lost my mind at 8:24 last round. God knows if I'm able to verbally express how good that performance actually is. We've been here before. In the Season 8 finals, everything was okay, and then everybody decided they were going to do a mediocre performance, so Piggy S'mores steals it off them all. They are deluded if they think they're going to saunter into these finals, do mediocre performances, and walk away with the first Woodland Championship. Piggy S'mores is looking like a very confident chap as we continue this round, but Hoshi pushes his face in front of the camera to make sure his presence is known, and so does Bear actually, which is unusual for Bear because she's not normally bothered about the camera, and certainly not bothered about the cameraman. But that makes sense, she's beelining for her favourite scratching post. And because we can only have one original idea at a time here at the league, Ginger copies Bear and starts scratching herself. This scratching is a very common sight here in Piggy Heaven, but it's the first time we've been able to properly capture it. And while Ginger's scratching, it's worth mentioning that all of the trees here in Piggy Heaven have very smooth bases, and that's because, as we're seeing, the pigs kind of sandpaper them down to a smooth texture. And I must admit, watching a pig at 45 degrees twerking and gyrating on a tree is much more entertaining than I'd like to admit to myself. And I think this scratching from Ginger has gone on far longer than anyone expected, so hopefully it comes to a finish for the sake of this video. But now Pepper's joining in. Will it ever end? And just like that, it does, which is fortunate because it's just in time for the next race. Right, let's get on with it. It's Hoshi that's got the best start out of the main contenders, and now he's pulling away, so he must have solidified this victory, surely. Ginger needs to make sure that she stays in second to stop a disaster from happening, which she manages to do as they round that corner. And finally, as we almost approach the midway point of these finals, there's some resistance from the others, namely Hoshi, but given that he's in third place already, he certainly can't rest on his laurels and has to almost immediately collect himself and focus his entire energy on the next race. As for Ginger, second isn't the worst result, but she's going to need to convert some of these races into solid victories if she's got any chance of knocking the American off the top spot. In the UK, we have special days such as Christmas, Easter, and even Valentine's Day. But these guys don't care about any of those events. They couldn't care less if Christmas came and went, and they're really not that bothered about the change of a calendar year. No, for these guys, a special day is New Straw Day. New Straw Day brings on a flurry of excitement and activity as the pigs poke the straw, move the straw, tunnel in it, lie on it. If it's possible to do it with straw, these pigs will give it a go. And they'll do so for around 24 hours. After that period of time, once all the straw is in exactly the right orientation and ruffled in a way that's deemed acceptable, the pigs now class the straw as normal straw. And the excitement and activity reduces dramatically, with only a residual amount of excitement reserved for the anticipation of another New Straw Day. Another uphill race, and again Hoshi gets the best start. Ginger caught in a bit of a traffic jam, that will slow her down. Hoshi again pulling away just like last race. Piggy S'mores looks like he's going to attack on this hill. He's getting ready to, and he might take it off Ginger if she's not careful. He's only gone and done it, and he's taken second off Ginger, ensuring that he still stays in pole position in these finals. But some credit finally needs to be given to another pig, Hoshi, who's really starting to flourish under this pressure and is managing to pull away in the first two-thirds, buying him enough margin to defend his lead. Ginger needs better starts, otherwise she's going to keep on losing to Piggy S'mores. And seemingly the two boys are the only ones capable of getting victories in these finals. Will that change in the second half? We are back at the hill in Piggy Heaven. We haven't seen the hill in a while, have we? But the pigs have never stopped working on it outside of the races. Bear has taken an interest in the cameraman. Please, Bear, if you could just stay there for a second. We just need a shot of all 5 of you digging on the hill, please. No, seriously, Bear, if you could just back up for a second. Anyway, the pigs continue to make progress on the hill, but it has been slowed down by the arrival of the new Woodland track and also the fact that the pigs like digging in each other's areas, and that causes quite a lot of conflict. In fact, in this case, Hoshi is quite literally Piggy in the middle. And this new reshovel has meant that Ginger can easily clear the dirt from her workspace, while Piggy Smalls spends his time filling the hole that Ginger has just made. No handicap and a poor start by Hoshi. He'll certainly regret that. Meanwhile, Ginger and Bear scrapping here to get the pole position. Piggy Smalls looking dangerous, but it's Ginger who overtakes Bear and claims her first victory of these finals, and that changes everything here down at the track, as Piggy Smalls and Ginger are tied in pole position for the first time in this competition. And Hoshi, in a single race, manages to undo all of his hard work over the last 2 races and is now firmly in 3rd place. Does that mean we're going to see a re-energising of the old rivalry between Ginger and Piggy Smalls in these final 3 races? A disastrous race for Hoshi. Chaos in the starting box gives Bear the edge. Hoshi also recovers quickly. Ginger's the big loser. She crashes in the back of both of them. Piggy Smalls now lining up to attack Hoshi on this hill. Will Hoshi crumble under the pressure? No, he does not. He holds up very well, in fact. And this gives a breath of life to the Japanese ambitions. And it's neck and neck, or should I say neck and neck, between the top 3 pigs as 4 points separates all of them. And it's causing a Mexican standoff, ironically not involving the Mexican pig, where each pig is waiting for another to slip up so they can swoop in and take the championship. And in race 7, we're going to find out which pig is the first to break. We saw a scuffle on the slopes of the hill a few moments ago, and that reminded us to show you some of the dynamics between the pigs. Hoshi is the 2nd biggest pig in the league, and because of how he's built, he's also extremely strong. But it's not all about strength, it's also about the attitude of each pig. And in this regard, Hoshi is a very calm-natured pig. Ginger, however, has a much more fiery disposition and can be very moody, sometimes aggressive as well, which means that when it comes to scuffles, she can often win out over her Japanese counterpart. Try that with Piggy Smalls, however, and it's a totally different story. Piggy Smalls is simply too heavy to be moved. And so Ginger can bury her head as much as she wants. That pig is not for moving. It's a quick start and Bear gets the best exit out of the box. Hoshi and Ginger still in tow behind her. Piggy Smalls being handicapped, but he doesn't look like he's going to be forgotten. Bear still staying out in front. Ginger slips and that allows Piggy Smalls to overtake. And that means that the boys have the momentum going into this final race. A disastrous race for Ginger Hamilton as she comes in 4th. Bear Trotsky claims the victory in, of course, in a madly irrational time to do it. Maybe she's trying to get over 100 points this season. Who knows why? And as we'll see in a moment, everybody takes huge risks on that step, probably knowing how important this race is. Bear actually slips on top of the step, which is extremely slippy in these wet conditions, given the moss that grows on it. But Ginger's rough and tumble approach backfires on her once again in the woodland. A tactic that works so well in the paddock just hasn't clicked here. Piggy Smalls. Smalls. Piggy Smalls. Please, buddy, look at me. We need to do the ceremony, Piggy Smalls. Smalls, please, look up. Smalls. No, but seriously, you're the only pig that can sit on command. We need you, or it's not going to happen. Thank you. Good boy. Right, it is that point in the show that we say thank you to our Patreon members. They are brilliant at the best of times, but especially so in Season 9 with all of the delays and setbacks we've had. Along with, let's face it, an extremely slow posting schedule, these guys have continued through thick and thin to support us. And it's worth mentioning that all of the money from Patreon goes into making the show better. We've started to see that with the arrival of the Woodland track, but we're going to see some big changes coming up over the next few seasons. And I personally am excited to show the audience the effect a small group of die-hard fans can have on a show like this. And we cannot go away without mentioning another big supporter, the sponsor of Piggy S'mores in Season 9, 100 Thieves. You've been a fantastic brand, you've been a fantastic sponsor, and Piggy S'mores would like to thank everybody over there that made this happen. Thank you so much to 100 Thieves and Patreon for driving this show forward and making it great. No handicap for the final race. All of the contenders get good starts, but a huge crash in the first corner. As Hoshi slams Ginger into the woodwork, Piggy S'mores will need to dig deep to overtake his rival, but it's not enough. And Hoshi Oinku claims the first Woodland Championship and his second ever season in the most controversial circumstances possible. We'll see them in a moment. Ginger tries to pass Hoshi on the inside. Hoshi Oinku gets his snout ahead of Piggy S'mores right at the beginning, sees Ginger trying to cut on his inside and then shoves her into the fences, killing her dreams of this championship. There will be many Ginger fans that are furious about what's just happened, but pig racing is very gladiatorial when compared to other sports, and contact is allowed, although no one was expecting that kind of contact. It's been a while since Hoshi Oinku fans have taken to the streets in celebration, but they may do so today. Well, the first Woodland Championship belongs to Hoshi, and that means he's finally got his double championship, leaving only Pepper Sanchez left to claim her double. Will she catch up with the others, or will one of the others strike out in Season 10? And what will the track look like? Find out much more in the next instalment.